and you look at people right now that are paralyzed to even talk about human rights. They're paralyzed in using their platform because of what? They're scared that if you talk about the life of a black human being, that people are going to all of a sudden be upset,
Yeah, not
or
buy
they're
your
going to be,
beer.
yeah,
But that is the
or the,
reality, though. But
Hmm.
that is a real fear, right? Because I think that what we're all kind of discovering too intrinsically is there are people that aren't supporters of culture,
Yeah.
they're
and
not
people
supporters
are,
of people that are something different than them.
Yeah.
yeah, and that is a consumer base. I hate to say it, that some people possibly are afraid to lose,
Yep.
because it's still dollars, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Steve, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And look, well, and I think Benny and I, when we, really started speaking up on what was happening in Minneapolis, shout out to Brewing Change Minnesota, who is a group that has been doing a lot of work in diversity and inclusion in the craft beer industry. I mean, they're on the streets right now.
Damn.
They are letting their voices be heard, and we made a post about them, last night, to speak about their efforts, but we just found it really sad, that in again a community and an industry that is steeped in community, that they have been swallowing their tongues,
Hmm.
to show, essentially no support for the very people that patronize their business.
Hmm.
So our thought is, we got into this entire thing to make sure that people of color, that black people specifically, were introduced to finer things,
Yeah.
to affordable luxuries like craft beer. And if we can't even speak up or voice our opinion for the death of black men and women,
Yeah.
then what is our purpose?
Yeah.
What do we influence?
Yeah.
And that's why we felt passionate about saying something about it, and not necessarily asking for the community to make posts and do digital things, but fucking reach out to your patrons.
Hmm.
You probably have individuals that come to your brewery every week, that bring
Mhm.
strangers, that bring family and friends to your brewery every week that have never been there. Like, are you reaching out to them? Are you reaching
Yeah.
out to your staff of color? Are
Hmm.
you reaching out to the drivers
Mhm.
that take your beer from A to B? Are you at
Right.
least just saying, are you okay? I
Yeah.
love
Yep.
you.
Yeah.
I care about you. And I may not have the answer, but I'm here and I'm willing to hold space for you.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and that's all I think we as a brand and as a community based business are asking for the community, is look at your community and
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
sure that you're being supportive.
Isn't that interesting though? That and that's just so beautiful, and yeah, it's like it should be technically a no brainer.
Yeah.
But isn't that interesting that there, because this isn't political, right? It's technically not supposed to be politicized. It's not. I understand a brand that doesn't want to take a side. You don't want to say that I support a democracy. I support Democrats
It's
versus
like, what are the
Republicans.
sides
There's
though?
no
I mean,
side to this, right?
Right.
Because it's
There is.
It's
Well,
so.
they've politicized
So
it
to
to a
not
degree,
It's
right?
talk
humanity,
about, yeah,
right?
so to not
Right.
talk about it, isn't that a larger reflection on who your community, your audience might be, that you would be afraid to
Wow, good
actually
point.
say
Who
something
you
about
think your
that?
community is. Exactly.
That's like, you need to
Exactly.
look much deeper than that, because for us, we always say, like, if there's something that we put out there that we believe in and somebody doesn't like it, you weren't for us anyway, so it's okay. That's why we actually will say we're Democrats and we'll talk about that stuff, because we're like, okay, that's
Right.
fine. If you're not for that, I don't care, because I don't mind if you go away, because we're not the same, so that's
Yeah.
fine with me. So for something like this, which it does not, it's just a human life, and that there's just something that continues to happen, and there's a problem that's systemic, that's obvious, that can't be ignored, and you have all this hurt around you, and to ignore it just shows that you know that there's something in your base that is not right, because you're too afraid to say something.
To say
And that's
something.
super
Great
Yeah,
point.
for
concerned.
sure.
That's very concerning.
That's a
That
really
that
good
that
point.
that is truly an unhealthy fear, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I